We are doing rewatch time, and I'm not alone. Ronnie in the building. What's good?
I have my coffee today. And I don't know if I need it, but I feel like I just need a little extra because of the holidays, the busyness, the new year, new me kind of vibes that everyone has. So I'm
Okay.
not a coffee drinker. I'm hoping it doesn't make my reactions to our watch along here of Total Divas more intense. But
Okay.
TK, we shall see. We shall see.
We shall see. I usually drink this time of year. I usually drink Bailey's, but I'm trying
Hmm.
to cut back on the calories. So it's just like, ugh. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm struggling a little bit, but here we are. Let's get into episode number 4,
Of
and it's
Total
so
Diva.
Total Divas,
I
and
mean,
it's so
they
crazy
know.
because
Yeah.
yeah, it's so crazy because it's called the Fat Twin, but this was like years ago. So I wonder if this title would even make the cut
Oh.
in today's society. But let's get into it.
Oh no.
Oh my
Whoa. That's next week's episode? Oh my
God,
gosh.
next week's episode.
This was season
Oh,
1, episode 4. Do you,
yes.
TK, right off the do you have a report? Like, what would you say? Like 1 out of 5 stars. How was that episode?
I mean, there were a lot of lessons learned. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we're talking about body shaming, and we're talking about pranks, whether they're good or not,
Yeah.
love and romance, marriage. There are like a lot of different, like, it's kind of one of those things that if you were just looking for, and you watch way more reality TV than I do, but correct me if I'm wrong. It feels like it's that was wholesome. Like there were some lessons
Mm-hmm.
learned versus today is just all ratchet. It's like today is like shut your brain off. Life sucks. Watch somebody else's life who sucks even more, so then you can feel better about yourself. Whereas like other reality shows from back, like older ones, it seems like there's some type of at least some type of feel good moment or
Mm-hmm.
life lesson that's coming out of it. So that's what I got from this one.
I rated pretty high, also like a 4 out of 5 stars. Only because I wasn't really an original watcher. This is a watch along. We're going
Yeah.
back to the year 2013 or something. So I would only say only 4 stars just because I wasn't familiar with. But gosh, this is our fourth time doing this, going
Mhm.
back. And we're stepping it up. And look at I'm even on Twitch now. It's
Oh,
a fun
oh,
experience.
oh.
Yeah, yeah. But what I will say about what you just said, it is very true. Like the reality TV before used to be able to like have these peaks and valleys of like
Mhm.
good-hearted stories. And then the drama. I don't know if it's the TikTok or 15-second reels that like became so boom, 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 boom that
Mhm.
now the reality TV is not even as fun to watch because it's like no human in their right mind is going to come with that much that quickly. I'm talking about the
Right.
shows of today. So this is
Mhm.
actually a fun watch along. What I like about it too, going back, is these cast members are at the start of their career to some degree, and
Mhm.
so they have very like humble living spaces, which is really interesting to watch, compared to where they're at now, you know?
No, I mean, yeah, we don't know where they're at now. Well, some of them
Yeah,
do. But
yeah,
yeah, it's really I mean, obviously if you've been working long enough and you save the coins, you're gonna upgrade.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It's the most exciting thing is seeing the process, the growth
mhm,
is what I like. So I just gotta say, I'm on the both sides of the fence, and I should be definitive, is the Nikki and Bree moment because on
uh-huh,
one side, Bree, and we could both talk about this actually. You
mhm,
being, such an athlete your whole life, me struggling with my weight, losing weight drastically, gaining it
mhm,
again, having issues with that, being on camera, all these things.
mhm,
Okay, so like on one hand, I feel like Bree was actually doing the right thing. Maybe her messaging wasn't delivered that well, and Nikki was only hearing it as like her like showing up with tough love. But I don't think she was. I think she
right.
was basically saying if we want to be at the top tier of what we do in this business, these opportunities don't come every day. Let's get
Mhm,
busy. Is what it
right.
felt like. But I guess there's a side of it that's like really sad too. What did you think?
I feel like kind of same thing, being up and down, you know, weight loss, weight gain, etc. I feel like unless it entails like health, meaning that like, look, you are going to die if you don't
Mm,
X, Y, and Z, and that's coming from a professional, not like, you know, just somebody who doesn't know your vitals and stuff like that. Then that person, like, you're not gonna, every time that I've kind of got my ish together, it's like, all right, I'm gonna start working out, blah blah blah, is when I made that decision. I have been in positions where people um or a person would say something, but that never made me want to go to the gym consistently. Every
mm,
time that I wanted to work out, or I've done a 21-day cleanse, anytime I've made these health decisions, it was all I've made them,
mm,
versus somebody telling me to. Because, it can go with anything. I mean, you know, if you're telling somebody to do something, they're often not going to do it.
yeah.
So, you know, but yes, I definitely, you know, it's business. And, you know, Bree was obviously concerned more for like, hey, this is our business. We don't want to, it to be shown a certain way. And it's probably also better to have that information come from your sister
Mm,
versus like, you know, the head of talent. And because there's nothing worse than you have somebody like who act like has no love for you whatsoever.
uh,
And it's just business. Like, look, you need to lose some
yeah.
weight. Like that's not like the greatest feeling. So so you know, it's, I think her intentions were good,
Mm,
business wise and health wise, because
yeah.
if you're so used to seeing somebody a certain size, and then even 5 or 10 pounds, it makes a difference, especially if your eye sees that person every day.
Right.
So I think her intentions were good, but I'm sure that's not even like an iota of a conversation they're having today. There's
Yeah.
like there's so many other things going on in their lives that it's just kind of like, look, do you, boo boo? If you
Yeah.
happy, make me happy.
Well, there was other complex issues with that because they are twins, and if you're a twin, I'm not. But if you're a twin, you somehow, sometimes I can't speak for a twin because I'm not one, but
Mhm.
like you somehow become the good twin or the bad twin, the funny twin, the serious
Yeah,
twin, and so they're already in a competitive comparing of each other. Like I said, Bree really was just trying to say this will be beneficial for us. If online comments are already hurting you, what's a great remedy for that? Not take it as like F you, there's online comments, I got to show you, but just you kind of become a little bit like Teflon if you can be your best. It's kind of like when somebody, and you could relate to this with like commentary and putting yourself in the public space. Like,
hmm
I know that on times I'm not really one to like engage with the comments to begin with, but on times where I'm hot, like I don't mean like physically, but just like I feel great about
right,
myself, you can't say nothing to me. Nothing. Not one thing. But then if that like foundation is cracked, you'll make a
right.
joke that isn't even intending to hurt me. And I'll be like, damn it. And I'll really kind of buckle in that
Mhm.
regard. So I really related to the episode. And another thing is, I was going to ask you, and then we can move on to. I love Natty's storyline in this episode, and also Ariane. she's she's got the voluptuousness this episode.
Oh
But I
my
was going to
god.
ask you, and I guess I'm trying to find a hack for myself, right? Struggling with my
Uh-huh.
weight my whole life. I feel, and maybe if I could just reshift my mind, I could be successful in another way. I
Mhm.
tend to do so good in a very positive space.
Right.
So if I think you were talking about when we saw the episode where they were like doing a cleanse or something, and you were like, the
Mhm.
third day is the toughest. Recently, I did like a little bit of a fast to a degree and juicing and that kind of thing. And the third day was the toughest. And the time that messed me up is because my day one, my day two was okay in terms of my
Mhm.
work schedule, my family, how like happiness and everything. Third day, a bunch of stuff came at me, and
Right.
that stress really made it complicated. And I
Mhm.
have found in my life that when randomly Ronnie is popping or has opportunity or something to look forward to, my motivation is better. I
Mhm.
don't know how people are able to be so physically fit when they feel depressed. I've heard people say you take it to the gym and you take that
Yeah,
anger.
it's not about feelings though. And that's the
Okay,
whole that's yeah,
let
that's
me
where
know.
society, yeah, that's where society, and you know, I fall to it sometimes. it's not about feelings. It's just doing it, regardless of
Mm,
whatever's happening in your life, just doing it. Because then once you get into the habit of, all right, today is shitty, I'm still going to the gym. Or today is great, I'm still going to the gym. And you get into that routine, then that's where you become, successful, period. So, I think oftentimes, myself included, when like life gets life in, I'm like, all
mhm,
right, I have some choices. But barring that it's something um financial or imminent, like I'm still going to the gym regardless if like my day is shitty or not, or if I'm tired or whatever. Once you get
yeah.
kind of past the feelings and the emotions to carry you certain places, and you already know what your goal is, then that's where you find the success. It's different, people often, fall off the wagon, pretty much in anything. Like
Mm,
anytime, if you think of any time where um you've made bad decisions, it's usually based off of some type of feeling. Like,
mm,
okay, your girlfriend or boyfriend broke up with you. I'm now gonna, drink myself into a stupor. Or,
right.
you've had whatever. It's usually off of those feelings. So the more you can kind of control,
Mm.
not necessarily control the feelings, but find a better way to, like, okay, well, this is what I'm feeling. However, it's not gonna stop me from doing this and whatever that is, and not have the adverse reaction.
Maybe this was a 5-star episode because I always took it the way of, oh, you take that pain and you put it into your workout, and I'm always like, I don't. That's not how. Like like I like
Oh
to be
yeah,
positive. I don't mind being negative, but I'm talking about in a workout setting.
yeah,
But you're saying no, don't, no, dummy, don't let it be like that. Just make it the same way when you wake up. You still got to tie your shoes, brush
yeah.
your teeth, take a shower. Make these phone calls, these emails. Just add it to the routine regardless.
Mm,
So I think in some ways watching this episode made me lock in on how, and I'm just being vulnerable. I'm not trying to be a punk ass bitch,
yeah,
but how vulnerable I am in terms of like when I let a really rotten day make me be like, the gym is going to be the last thing I'm going to do. And where you're saying, just still do it, just like still
yeah.
go. Yeah.
Well, just like breathing, just and you can. It doesn't necessarily have to be the gym, whatever you do working out, but it doesn't have to. Yeah, just like you find a way to eat, you find a way to go to the gym. Like
Yeah.
you make certain things part of your everyday. Like I had an ex, like he found a way, and he wasn't like an alcoholic, he was like a bartender and stuff like that. But every night he had a nightcap. And I know a lot of people who do that. Like that's
Hmm.
part of their routine. And every
Hmm.
night, they have a nightcap, then you take a shower, that's part of your routine. So you just add the gym or whatever workout. I had this one family, this Greek family in Toronto. After every meal, they went on a family walk. After
Mm.
every, it could be snowing. I mean, barring it's a tornado or whatever,
Yeah.
but every day that was their routine. So you're
Yeah.
passing that on to, like, it was a family, it was a husband, wife, and their daughters, and they're passing it on to their daughters. So that now becomes just, and it's not
A
your
habit. Yeah.
yeah, it's now become a habit, and it becomes generational. So
Wow.
yeah, it just
Let me
taking take
find out WW Talk Pod and us doing the rewatch of Total Divas is going to make us a better person.
for
As we're wrapping up, thoughts on Natty and what she was going through with the relationship. And then also, I can't speak for like Ariane in terms of it was a full like body
yeah,
positivity and elements of shame. I don't really want to speak on women in terms of
right,
implants, but I know as a human, I know as a person, I'm kind of like, would I ever get plastic surgery to a degree? Like, I've always joked about like, oh, I would get a chin implant. Does that make me lesser of a person? Does it show an insecurity, or are we constantly on camera and does that play into it? Like it was a lot. I wondered what you thought.
I mean, live your life. I actually was when I was working at the radio station, we got discounts at this plastic surgery. So I actually went to
Okay.
the surgeon and
Hmm.
got a whole consultation stuff. I'm glad I did it because I ended up gaining weight and getting the size that I was gonna buy anyway. So I can only imagine what it would have looked like if I like got them plus gained the weight. But I
Mm.
think do whatever makes you happy, and as long as it's healthy. I know a lot of people who go overseas. Just make sure that if you do that, it's, don't take the discount for your life. So
Right.
like whatever makes you happy, if that stuff makes you happy, that's great. But you also, what I think a lot of people don't think of, which is ironically what a lot of people told me when I was looking at getting breast implants. They're like, just wait, you're not going to need them.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, you know, sometimes you grow into whatever and sometimes you don't. Like it just, to each his
Yeah.
own. I'm not going to look down on you if you get it. I think, to me, I kind of look at you a little sideways if you get an excessive amount, because then
Sure.
the next thought process is, why are you getting that? Like, what are you trying, like, why are you trying to change yourself to that extent?
Yeah.
So, but again, that's not my business. My
Mhm.
business is like my family and my finances. Those are the two things that I concern myself with. Um, so other than that, like, you do you.
Right. Do you? Yeah.
So yeah, so, and you know, that's kind of how I gauge things and how I deal with people.
I wish
So
more people would do that. She
yeah,
probably does have a lot of pressure, like in the position, and she's thinking like, will this make me, I don't know, will this access my career to a higher level? But then she
right.
roped it around as like, I actually rather be a role model. And again, this is an old series, so I don't know where
Mhm.
she's at today, but she's a
Well,
beautiful
she's
girl
doing,
regardless.
yeah.
Huh?
Well, and I can speak to that because I spoke to her the other day. But she's
Oh,
doing
nice.
well. She started her own. Shout out to Aria, and she started her own wrestling promotion, Pound Town Wrestling. I don't think, because I don't really like look at people like that, but I don't think
Mhm.
she ever ended up getting the breast implants. Period. But she
Yeah.
looks phenomenal. She works
Right.
out all the time. She can follow her on Twitter and Twitch and all the things. And TikTok. She's on TikTok live all the time. She's a
Hmm.
businesswoman.
Nice.
So, you know, if a hustle, I mean, I could put a lot of people under that. If hustle is like a word, like a person, it would be her. Like, she's constantly hustling and doing different things. And I have so much respect for her because some people are, I don't know if the word is luck or fortunate or whatever, to, you know, be, they're consistent, their life is consistent either job wise or wherever, right? And then some people, they get thrown about in different things, and you either figure out how to make it work or you just, you know, break down under pressure. And she's one of those people who didn't break down under pressure and has done some amazing things and is constantly thinking and reinventing and stuff like that. So shout out to Ariane for that.
Shout out to her. Before we get to the Natty thing, epic scene of the episode is
Mhm.
when Trinity says, "But is she gonna be able to take a body slam after that?" That was funny. And then you had the girl, the doctor's office. Uh, she was very
Or
showcasing the goods, and then John, is his name John? To Trinity's
yeah,
husband. John had to go in there like, this is good, funny, reality, uncomfortable.
yeah.
He puts his shades down, like, it was hysterical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where, one, you know, they're secure in their relationship, and then two, like, he had the perfect response, because if
Yeah.
he did anything other than that, it'd be like, you acting like you see boobs all the time, like you see
Yeah.
different people's boobs all the time. So that was the perfect reaction for
That
him.
was the perfect definition of reality TV, like making a scene. Like, you're
Yeah,
making a scene. Like, it was like campy. It was really good.
yeah,
I love Natty,
mhm,
and just, she had to like say those words. Maybe she's one of the people that doesn't often say it, and I feel like once you address it and speak it up, like,
right.
what's the issue, eventually it'll come through. He thought he was so slick, though. He thought he was God's gift to life when he said, "Well, here we're at the courthouse," and it's like, you're not listening. You're not listening. And I'm glad it ended in a way that he did finally show
Yeah.
a romantic side.
Well, I think I don't think he thought he's God's gift. I feel like she was telling him, but she was telling him indirectly. Like, oftentimes, I think in today's society, we just need to say what we need from that person. And if
Mm,
we're like, hey, this is what I need, and then they go about, you know, not doing that, then, you know, then they're not there for, and also just depends on what you're asking for. But, you know, I don't think what she was asking for was a lot. And the fact
mm,
that he's done it before. So I think sometimes we get comfortable in, you know, whatever life is. And I think maybe the approach in what she's maybe hinting at it.
mhm.
And most So some guys and some people don't pick up on the hints. You just need to tell them what you need.
Damn, I'm sounding so weak today, but I feel like I've been, maybe we'll go back. We're always moving forward. I feel like I've been that person before. While I could be direct on a lot of things for sure, I've
Mhm.
also found myself in that whole like, I think I got messed up when somebody said there was a term called teach people how you want to be treated or something of
Yeah.
that nature. And so
Mhm.
I used to start being like, well, I don't really got to like say what it is. I could just like kind of hit the boundaries and kind of showcase this is what I need or require or want in a situation. They should know. And maybe
Right.
Natty was doing the same thing. Maybe she was like, I keep kind of letting him know. Surely he's gonna take me to a romantic dinner so we can spend some quality time.
Right.
And it just didn't work because she never said it. She just alluded to it. So that was you when you watch these shows, you see a very real side of you sometimes,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
But I loved
But
it.
yeah, I loved it too.
Yeah.
Can't wait for next week's episode.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Check us out next week for episode number 5.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be we might be doing some new reality shows in the new year too. So a lot of things to check out. Where
Yes.
can they find you, Ronnie?
Everything is so easy to find me at randomlyronniejr.com. And of course, there's the YouTube, the Twitch, and the social media is mostly at randomlyrj and difficultpodcasters.com. And
Boom.
every week with TK. Yeah.
There it is. And you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. Make sure you follow Women's Wrestling Talk on WW Talk Pod and www.talkpod.com on the website. Great. There's an interview that's going to be dropping shortly. Definitely check out Fight TV for all our interviews as well. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Until next time, guys. Ciao.